Make your own battery bank. There. Done. Video over. Oh, right. This, and I know it's janky and ridiculous looking, this was really just a prototype test bed I made to see if it would work. If you're wondering, this is a battery bank. It's actually made out of 2 batteries from old cell phones. The electronics for the charging circuit is out of a battery bank kit, sort of like this. I bought a pack of several of these. And you can just pull them apart. You can get kits that are a battery bank, build your own, and they are as simple as like this one, where it's just you get your own battery, put it in there. The electronics would be up here. This is what one of them looks like. It would be like this with the whole arm off it to go in both ends of the battery. This one is going to be used for something else, which is common with almost everything I have. There's not a lot I use for the intended purpose, actually. That's boring. Anyway, these, and put the battery in, close it up, and you have a battery bank. The advantage to having things like this is if the battery goes bad or something happens, you can take it apart and replace it. The disadvantage is there is work involved. But back to this. This was just a test bed, as I said. The problem is the batteries often used for older cell phones, like this one, won't charge. And it took me a long time to figure out how and why. I kept hearing things about it takes a special signal for it to charge a certain connection. There's a handshake that takes place. It has 4 pins on the end for the connection. 2 of them are marked positive and negative. The other 2 are unmarked. So I did all sorts of testing trying to figure it out. A lot of research. No one would say exactly what or why. And this is do at your own risk, etc. I accept no responsibilities. But if you get one of these batteries, or have some batteries like this, at the top there is a plastic cap. If you feel, there will be a point where it will give, and then the battery will start. Take a razor blade, very carefully cut around that. You just want to cut the end wrapping off. It'll come off, and there's a battery cap that has other wires going down into the battery. That actually has a circuit board in it that will stop it from charging if it doesn't detect the right signal. So, to get these to work, I had to cut those off. If you want to do that, you need to have ceramic scissors to cut the leads. If you don't cut those off with the ceramic scissors, you risk bridging it. It could work if you do that, if you want to play it risky. The problem is you risk bridging the connections, and that can do any number of things. Kill the cells, where it's just dead battery that won't work, all the way over to thermal runaway. Those can be very exciting, just like the name, which means basically the battery will release all of its power instantly. You can see, I'm sure you'll find online some impressive videos of them exploding and doing all sorts of stuff. I have had 2 thermal runaways in my experiences. One, the battery I was trying to get out, they started putting an adhesive in cell phones holding the battery in place. The problem was the little tabs you're supposed to pull to get them to release broke off, and so the full adhesive was in there. Try heating it. It wouldn't release. Nothing I did could get that battery adhesive to release. That was some quality adhesive that was on that spot there. And so I had rubbing alcohol in there. Don't heat the phone and use rubbing alcohol. Amazingly, idiots have done that. If you take it off the heater and still not releasing, you want to use rubbing alcohol, you let it sit there for a bit to cool. Then you put the rubbing alcohol in there. Somebody did do that. When I was first told that, it's like, did somebody actually do that? A directive came down from job I had at the time, directive came down from that we could use heat or rubbing alcohol. And I asked, why is or in there? Tell me somebody didn't do that. And they said, yes, somebody did. And it caused a fire. Point is, for the thermal runaway, what happened to me was I was trying to get the battery out. It would not. The battery ended up deforming, trying to get it to come out. And I saw blue sparks come out, and it got warm. So I'm now frantically trying to get this battery out of there so that I don't destroy this customer's phone. The other time, I'm trying to remember what exactly happened. The battery somehow got pinched or folded slightly trying to get it out. Something happened along that line. No fancy sparks or any specific danger. It just got really, really hot. You could not touch it. The thing is, with a thermal runaway, it's releasing any stored energy. Most of the time, when you're working on a phone, it's at half charge or less. So if the battery is nearly dead, it may have no energy to release. So it's just something to keep in mind doing that. Don't charge it and then try to do this to test the battery. But you can get ceramic scissors, cut those leads off, and then you can solder them together into what I have here. Now, the batteries obviously are different sizes. What's going on here is they have the same voltage, but different milliamps. So basically capacity as to what they can store is different. As long as the voltage is the same, you can rig them all in parallel, or wire them all in parallel to be more specific. And I could have like 5 of them stacked up. The volume of power they can work would be amplified, but they're all going to give the same voltage, run off the same charging circuit, and you're fine. If you're going to do that, you want them to all be pretty close to the same sized voltage in capacity. You don't want one fully charged, one half charged, one nearly empty. You want them to all be pretty close. Try to get them as low as possible to the empty range. Obviously, it's bad for lithium-ion batteries to be fully charged or fully empty if you're going to leave them for a period of time, but you can, doing something like this, if it's no good for a battery, it still has a lot of life left in it, but you could connect it to a little motor, run it down to where it's nearly dead, then you can connect and tinker away with. Some of the things I was doing as different projects, as these are old dead phones, pulled all the guts out, I had the brilliant idea. It'd be so cool. I'll use a phone as a battery bank. Wouldn't that be cool? You know, whip out a phone. You can even get light boards basically, so it'll light up, and you use like a little flashlight. I was thinking of turn this on here, so press the button, lights up, has a little flashlight, have a battery bank in it. It'd be so cool. Unfortunately, this particular model of iPhone, they put the board there in the middle, and there's not enough depth there to actually do anything with. And another one, same thing, by like a millimeter. It's just a fraction. Not deep enough to do anything with. I could have tried with this one, but I'd have to do something to treat the edge. So, you know, best laid plans. Cool idea. As with many ideas and projects I have that I will probably never actually get around to do because it's a cool idea and then I don't do them. Sad. But the thing is, that's not all. There are many types of batteries you can get when you're talking used batteries, and you can even go out and just buy them new. Just know what you're getting into. This one, Duracell Ultra, I have no idea anything of it. I acquired these from a place that was nice enough to give me some old batteries. If you want to try to acquire some batteries, there's numerous places that do cell phone repair or sell batteries or anything along that line. You can poke your head in, shop around, and ask them if they have old batteries that they can give you. I'm probably at 50% if I were to say, you know, hey, can I have this? If you peek your head in the door and ask for something free, they may say due to liabilities, we can't. It may be by a person per person basis. But if you poke your head in the door saying, hey, I need to buy this. Oh, while I'm here, do you have anything like this? And they may be more apt to give you something because you're a paying customer. So I haven't actually tested these or done anything with them, so I don't know how much capacity or any usefulness they have. But I wanted to bring this up because this one just has leads off it. I don't know if it has a actual brain in there would keep it from charging, but it just has a power positive and negative. This one has wires coming off of it, so you could just cut those off and connect to those, so you wouldn't need the ceramic scissors. So kind of look around for what you're looking for, or get batteries that don't have brains in them. That would probably be easier. But you might be thinking, okay, now that I have my battery bank, what now? Admittedly, when you're talking USB, that will work with pretty much anything. You can charge a laptop off it if you wanted, but you could charge anything else. But the thing is, my mind works differently. I don't see, oh, I have a battery bank. I can charge my cell phone or Bluetooth device or anything else. I think, what else can I do with this? I know. If we tied into the positive and negative leads, had them come off, we could power other things, such as a toy ray gun. I looked around, I couldn't find it. Somewhere I have a phaser, a Star Trek phaser, and another project I was always going to do one of these days. Mount an actual laser in it. Okay, it's a diode, not a true laser, but a diode in there, and then I could have it powered by that, recharge one of the AA batteries that came with it, put a different LED in there so that rather than the light bulb, among other things. It was an old toy. When did I get that? I'm sure it was in the 90s, late 90s. I had this toy phaser, and it was a project I was always going to do. It's been longer than I'd like to admit, and I still haven't done it, so it's favorable to never get done. My wife also has tricord. I was going to do a couple things with that, but of course she may not want me to. It might be special to her from her Star Trek conventions. You know, if you're going to modify things, get permission first. That is good advice. But you can get this taken care of. Not all lithium-ion batteries are going to have the exact same voltage. Laptop batteries will usually run 18 or 20 volt. It's best to check with the meter and make sure. There might be a circuit bringing the voltage up or down. Outside of that, cell phone batteries, every one I have ever seen, all run on 4.5 volts. Obviously, you want to read the little labels on here and make sure what it actually is. Now, it could be because that's what I dealt with, the type of electronics I've worked with. All of those have been the same voltage. So, but yeah, you can do that. And of course, you're going to power it once you get the 4.5 volts coming off of it through the charger. All you'd have to do is basically wire in, solder it to the positive and negative posts, and then you can pull off these leads to do whatever you wanted with it. Because this will do the charging, but it's delivering the voltage to those same wires. So you can just solder into those and have it go to other components. Kind of ask yourself, what else do I want to do with this? A light bulb, a flashlight, sound effects, any number of things. Old school. Goodness. I look around trying to think of something else I could grab or use it with. Could power an old Walkman. I think I still have. I have my speakers I built for my Walkman. Should probably do a video on those. Somebody might find that interesting. I built a briefcase stereo back in, well, it was kind of college years, late high school, and then going into college. I built a speaker for my briefcase. Yes, I had a briefcase. I don't know why people thought it was strange. Anyway, and I built speakers in it so I could plug in my Walkman and had better batteries and rechargeable batteries, and connect it all up. And so yeah, if I had one of these back then, I'd have been really cool. But cutting edge technology for the time. Just some ideas of things you can do. But once you get a power source, you can use resistors or amplifier circuits even to boost the signal and process other things. But basically ask yourself, what do I want it to do? What else do I want it to do? Because you can just recharge things with this, but that by itself, yeah, it's something. But there's so much more. I gotta finish that other video and show you that.